There we go. Okay. So we got a recording for you. Good. This is our post interview, and this is Teresa, and Teresa is a healer or facilitator of healing. This was your second session.
Mm-hmm.
Your first session, you were one of my test people as I was going through my training.
That's true.
How was the second session for you? Share with everyone.
The second session was leading up to it a little nervous and kind of almost feeling some resistance inside of me. But once I felt what that was and then kind of met that, I felt more ready. And so the second time going through the process, I actually felt like I could really trust myself in what came up, because I think the first time I tended to maybe kind of filter it a little bit more. So the second session, I felt more trust and ability to say what came up, or um, even express things, even if like I was being asked a question and I had something else that I needed to say, allowing myself to actually say that versus paying attention to what I was just asked. So I felt a little bit like I was a little bit more free to experience whatever is really going on for me.
Right, so we did a little bit different thing this time because and today is Teresa's birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
But the first time, and I did not know, I've learned some tools and little things here and there. This time we did a visualization of you leaving your conscious self, your ego, over to the corner to watch and not to say anything. Did that help you? Was that a little bit different at all? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I think that definitely was helpful, and I did notice a couple of times where I noticed the ego or the thinking mind or whatever that is, that
the conscious self
would come up and kind of want to either distract me or question what was being said or thought of or came up. And
was that less though than the first time?
It was way less than the first time.
Because the first session you had, I mean, you were definitely in my top 5 of people that I did with training. I mean, you were just talking, but you've been hypnotized before.
Yeah, well, through my work and experience as a craniosacral therapist, it's part of the process that you can experience on the table with that modality as well, to learn how to trust yourself and what is your inner physician, they call it, what is coming up. Yeah. So I had some practice with that before this process, which definitely I think added to my ability to just trust that and allow it to come forward. But the ego or the critical mind or the thinking mind definitely, if you don't practice that a lot, it still comes in and is trying to maybe take over or question everything. So this session was really a session in allowing and trusting, and through some of the visuals that you gave me to help setting that ego aside, I know that definitely helped me to have permission and to think about allowing that to happen more. So
what would you recommend to people as a preparation? Because I've done a preparation for QHHT video on my YouTube channel, but what advice would you give to people to prepare for a QHHT session?
Well, ideally, if you have time to maybe either sit with yourself somewhere quiet in nature, or at home in a room where you have a little bit of time, that maybe you can just kind of sit and explore like what's really going on and what's really on your mind, or what's impacting your body, your system, your emotions, your mind. To do that a little bit ahead of time might be helpful, and because it might help you kind of open up and maybe clear out some things, or at least know when you come into the session what you're bringing with you or what's hanging on. And then
right, because you had a big release before the session, which was really good, because you were having resistance, and so
so we spent some time working on that. And I may have chosen not to do the session had I not worked through that.
And you had that option not to do it.
Yeah.
It's important to know if there's no agenda. If the session doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's okay.
So that was helpful too, because of course once you see the resistance, or at least in my experience that I had today, that resistance was given a voice and seen and heard, and it was connected to emotions for me. And so letting those emotions move through me and acknowledging them and being able to express what I've been carrying with me, especially in the last couple of days, letting that out gave me that ability to, to be more present and ready, and actually like feeling, yes, I want to do this. Like, please, let's do. We still have time. Let's do this.
And I said, there's always time because time's an illusion. Right. So tell everyone what you do. You're a craniosacral therapist, and so you take clients.
Yeah, I take clients right now. On Fridays are usually the days that I'm available for that. And if you're not familiar with craniosacral therapy, which actually, in my story I just told you, that's partly what's helped me be more prepared for the QHHT sessions, going through craniosacral therapy, which is more of a hands-on technique. And it's we learn how to palpate the body and the subtle movement in the systems, and I can get really scientific with it, but in a nutshell, it's another system that helps you be present with yourself and helps you connect more with we say your body, but it helps you connect more with your body than your thinking mind. So again, it helps to set the ego off to the side of the room. And so that's something that is a passion of mine to do, to be present with people. And as soon as I learned this work, probably 14 or 15 years ago, I fell in love with it. And so that's a big thing for me to be able to offer that for other people. But of course, there's a lot of people who aren't familiar with it. And so it's kind of hard to let people understand what it is unless they experience it. That's really the best way to understand it.
Teresa and I met last year, because we both teach at the same yoga studio here in Portland, Oregon. And we met in class last year, and when I found out, because I'm a body worker, and when I found out that she did craniosacral, I said, oh, I've been looking for a trade. Let's trade. So Teresa and I have been trading since, I think it's been a year
now, probably. Yeah, probably just coming up on a year.
It's been a year, and it's been profound. So Teresa is an amazing healer, really. She has healing hands, and the Reiki energy is coming through your hands, definitely.
Yeah, I have actually been trained as a Reiki master as well, but I in the past, I don't know, it's one of those things where I think it just comes through, and I don't necessarily consciously think about it.
You just have a healing touch. You just have naturally healing hands. There's a lot of light around Teresa and comes through her. So you'll want to connect you. So how do people find you? You have a website.
I do. I have a website. I want to say first, when Sonia and I met, I have to mention that I was also in a space in my life where I was asking for guidance and for, connection with other people to help me move forward with whatever or what I'm passionate about in my life. And so it was definitely divine timing and connection for us to meet. So that was really neat. I was literally asking for another person to trade body work with, and so when we met, and you
were so surprised, you were like, wow, I was just asking about this.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool to see that, and just an affirmation or a confirmation to me that when we really get quiet and centered and focus on what our heart really truly desires, it shows up in our lives.
It does. So I've been asking for her for years. Teresa and I are soul family. We knew that, but in her first session, we found out that we've had many lives here together on Gaia, on Mother Earth, and we are from the same soul family, which we knew, because when I met you, I was like, oh, I know you. It was super familiar. Yeah. It was really easy. Everything that we have together is so easy. And speaking of what we have together, Teresa and I also, since we'll be posting this before November, Teresa and I are co-facilitating a women's healing retreat. And it's going to be a one-day retreat for women only right now. We'll eventually do one for everyone. But this is a juice cleanse. We are teaching yoga. Teresa also teaches yoga. We are going to be doing group Reiki, group massage, and group hypnosis. And this is in Banks, Oregon, at the
Yes.
Heaven and Earth Retreat Center in Banks,
that's
Oregon.
A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. So you just
Yeah.
even being in the space is going to be healing. Being around Sonia will be healing for sure. And
Being
you
around
know,
both of us.
yeah.
This is our first time teaching together. This is
So
the beginning of many, I feel.
yeah, I'm very excited to be a part of something that's promoting taking care of yourself and healing yourself, because I think in this world that appears to be really in disarray, I think the world is actually trying to show us is to come back to ourselves and to really honor and love ourselves, because that's when you feel happy and loved, what do you usually do? You're kind and friendly and you love other people. So so taking this time at this retreat or making a session with Sonia or myself, yeah, and I didn't mention earlier, my website is Healing From Within.
Healing From Within.
.biz.
.biz. And I'll put that down below in the little box across that describes this video. We'll put that down below.
So right now I see people only in the Portland area. And so if you're local and curious about craniosacral or if you're curious about yoga with Sonia and I, look us up.
And so the retreat, the Women's Healing Retreat, is on my website, SoniaWilderWellness.com, on the workshop events page, and you need to make a deposit, and there's limited spots. So you're going to want to get yours. It's filling up fast. And good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. So would you recommend this to others?
I would. I think it's a good process of really connecting with what the truth is inside of you, and it's, you know, it's one of those things where we might look at it and say, oh, I don't believe in hypnosis or that it works, and it's not necessarily about being like under a spell or in a trance or something like that. It's
because you're aware
of what's going on. It's really more about actually coming to a space of calmness and just presence and being in the present moment and just trusting. So it's a great practice even to experience it for those lessons and learning how to do that. So I would definitely recommend people to check out Sonia and her guidance with the QHHT, because she does an awesome job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So if you want to book a session with me, go to my website, SoniaWilderWellness.com, and a lot of information is there. Book it. I'll be happy to work with you. Thank you. Yay, that was so good. That was really awesome. Thank you. Thank you. You're wonderful. So cool. Happy birthday.
Thank you.